As a child, we all long for a hero. As a society as a whole, we search for that leader that can be our hero. But as we mature and as we grow, it dawned on us that the hero is inside every one of us. And in the world's social media, we all start at zero. And slowly we search deep within ourselves to find who we are. And we have that moment of truth where we embrace that the hero that we've been searching for has been there all along. It is living deep inside of every one of us. And we start embracing that journey and we become that hero that we search for.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Zero to Hero, presented by J29 Creative Group. We are on episode 131, and it's going to be a special one. I know a lot of business owners out there are trying to wrap their head around AI and what can we do with it? What can we use it for to build the business? Our next hero here is going to be able to help out with that a little bit. His name is Dale Thomas. He is the founder of ActionableOps. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Dale, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on and making the time. So before we really get into it, what is ActionableOps? What are you guys doing? What do you have coming up?
Well, so ActionableOps it seems like we're pivoting and kind of changing every week as the space changes and we're learning new things. But at the core, we are a consulting company that focuses on helping small and medium-sized businesses with AI. So we focus a lot on AI work streams, AI agents, automation. We're putting a lot of investment into voice AI lately, and then we do some consulting around AI readiness.
I love it. I love it. As somebody that used to do outbound cold call sales, I can hear all the boots shaking when we hear the AI automation, right? Those phone answering services that, you know, it sounds real, right? I mean, it's at this point, it's so good that you don't know that you're talking to AI, right? Until something goes on, right? Or maybe you don't realize it throughout the call. So talk a little bit about the progression of it. Obviously, it's something that is fairly new, but it's already gotten to a point where, you know, it's leaps and bounds. It seems like you said, you know, week to week, month to month. I mean, it's just happening so fast.
Right, and with voice, we decided, to be honest, we wanted to focus on voice because we thought it was such an interesting technology, and we loved playing with it. I don't know where I stand yet on like doing a lot of outbound for cold calling and things of that nature, but I love the idea for appointment reminders or changes of appointments, and that really help businesses and the consumer. I hate IVRs, and I'm always frustrated when I call like American Express or whoever, and I end up just screaming representative over and over, which just disrupts the entire house. So I love the ability to have these natural conversations with these agents, and you know they're not perfect, and you know I can generally tell when I'm talking to an AI, but I'd much rather talk to an AI than to some of these older technologies, and it just makes it such an for a business owner who we focus a lot on service companies, so people that are in the field, they can't be at their phone all the time. And I hate the phrase game changer, but it's definitely, you know, makes a big impact on the business. Now they have somebody that's answering the phones 24/7, that can schedule appointments on their behalf, can change appointments, and answer 90% of the questions that an average person who's calling the business would be asking. So to me, it's such a win-win for the consumer and for the business. And again, I think the technology is so interesting, and which is another reason why we want to focus on it, because I just love playing with this stuff.
I love it. I love it. No, it makes perfect sense, especially with you know, a lot of the service-based companies kind of start out or maybe they stay as a one-man show, right? So if we're actively working on something, it's kind of hard to stop, put that down, right? Answer the phone, schedule something out, and then, you know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, we're getting back into it, right? I mean, it's just that sounds like a productivity nightmare, but something that could be easily solved just by implementing the system. So it sounds absolutely amazing.
Absolutely, and we're excited about it. I know it's just one of those technologies that, again, we love playing with it, and building these things out.
I'd much rather see this kind of AI than some of the the dolls that people are putting out now, right? Where it's like we're burning trees for these images, man.
Oh, it's funny you bring that up, because as soon as I can get come up for mayor, my plan is to start getting on LinkedIn and start demonstrating more about how
Yeah.
we can use AI, because right now it's most people think AI is ChatGPT or making these dolls. And from a business perspective, well, the dolls are cute and all, but it doesn't really show a business owner really what AI can do. And if you use tools like generative AI tools like ChatGPT, you might be able to see the value, but you don't really see how it can really impact your business until you start looking at some of the other uses. And that's really what I want to start demonstrating. You can find people that show you how the sausage is made on LinkedIn, YouTube. Business owners generally don't care about how it's made, but they want to see what it can do for them. And that's really where I want to start focusing from like a social media perspective, is how can we leverage AI, or how they can leverage AI to change the business. So here in Kansas City, we're doing a workshop with the Leawood Chamber of Commerce here in a couple months in June, all about that, how business owners can use AI, how they can use tools like photo generation for their business, far past just creating these action figures.
I love it. I love it. And from a marketing perspective, we're starting to look at it as far as searchability is concerned, right? I mean, the whole, SEO game has kind of changed to evolve and wrap AI into that. So it's really kind of, what information can we get out there that feeds into that searchability for the AI, right? Kind of outside of, or back to the GPT thing that you were mentioning earlier, but that's kind of how we're looking at it, right? Is how can we get relevant information out there where the AI is going to be able to find that and then answer that question, with the relevant information from our clients.
Right. And on top of that, it's going to be interesting to see how the AI generated content and SEO work together, and Google or tools like Perplexity. There used to be, and I'm sure you remember that there used to be these article spinners that would rewrite your content, and the search engines hated it, because they wanted actually the content generated by a human and have some authenticity into it. But now Google has taken a different position, from my understanding, where they're saying like AI generated content is okay. So, but you still have to master the SEO for every blog post or for every article, and that's the challenging part as well, because you can write 1,000 articles, but they're all crap and they all sound like AI, and none of them are optimized for search.
100%, right? The relevance, right? That misses there. I love it, Dale. I love it. Good stuff, man. So let's get into it a little bit here. Outside of Actionable Ops, I know we kind of dove into that, but outside of that, who is Dale Thomas? Give us the elevator pitch about who you are.
Sure. Well, I'm here in Leawood, Kansas. New to the area. Been here about 3 years. I claim to be from Seattle, Washington, where I spent about 25 years, but originally from Northern California. And I've always been in technology in the Seattle area where I was living, and then in New York City, I lived there for a while, and also Atlanta. I have a background again in technology, operations, and law enforcement, and have owned several different businesses over the years. Last year, I wrote, it's completely outdated now, a book on AI for small business. It was called The Ultimate Guide to AI for Small Business, or Small Business Success, which was an Amazon bestseller. And other than that, being in the Kansas City area, what really kind of solidified my love for Kansas City was the barbecue. And of course, Kansas City is known for barbecue. So I'm a KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society certified judge. I love judging barbecue competitions. I've been trying to watch my sugar and carb intake over the last year, so I haven't done much in the last 10 months, but I'm hoping to get back out on that circuit and start judging more contests. And when I'm not doing that, I'm actually trying to learn how to create, I would say, healthier barbecue. So maybe skinless chicken with sugar-free sauce.
I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, we definitely need some healthier options around the city for sure. There's a lot of delicious food out there. It's not all the best
Um,
for you, but
that's
man,
one
it
of,
is
to be
everywhere.
honest, that's one of the craziest things that when I had committed to moving to Leawood, I'd never been here before. And it wasn't until I started remembering about barbecue being kind of Kansas City thing that I really start having an interest in living here. And then I lived here and I realized, oh, this is why it's so great. But one of the things that my wife and I first noticed was how amazing the restaurants were, at least in this part of the city, Leawood, Overland Park. We have some amazing restaurants that, I mean, like I said, I've lived in Seattle, New York, Atlanta, where there's great food, but this area has amazing food.
I love it. I love. You know, it's funny. I was stationed out in Southern California for a while, and Famous Dave's was about the only decent, halfway decent barbecue that we could get out there.
Sorry to
And then
hear
we moved back. You got to do what you
that.
got
I'm
to
gonna get
do at the
famous
moment.
Dave.
Yeah, I did find like a North Carolina inspired one we were going to for a little bit, but Famous Dave's is right down the street, so that was the option in Southern California. It's funny. There's I think one Famous Dave's here. It's in the Legends, and
Yes.
I don't know if anybody goes there because there's so many other good options.
Well, the interesting thing is because I have such a passion for barbecue, I'm always paying attention as we drive by, kind of how the parking lot flow.
Uh,
Famous Dave's, it's not a place that I don't think I would go.
right.
Well, since I'm here, but the parking lot always seems full.
Interesting. That's a good point. Next time we drive by, I have to take a look at that. I know Slaps always has like the line around the block to get into that place.
Perhaps, yes, yes.
Yeah, those are some good ones. All right, so Dale, tell us a little bit about the social media journey for Actionable Ops. So when we started the pages, right, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, no posts, no followers, no likes, no content. Tell us a little bit about what that journey has been like and how you're using it to promote Actionable Ops.
So, I mean, to be honest, this is one of I think our biggest opportunities is trying to figure out how we really want to leverage social media, um, because we've done very poorly, and our organization is very small. So everything I do is generally myself, or I have a small team of 2 or 3 people that we outsource work to. So as far as social media, we're still figuring out our great strategy, just like I was talking about, figuring out how do we provide value to the LinkedIn community or the small business community. We're not ones to just start posting on any of these platforms because I don't think there's a lot of value there. And we've tried, obviously, when we first started playing with a lot of the Gen AI stuff, creating a LinkedIn post with Gen AI, and just it just fell flat from a perspective of it didn't get any views, but it didn't resonate with people, and people understood that it was Gen AI created. So for us, it's all about going back to the drawing board and figuring out how can we provide value to the community, and then do these videos that we've been talking about on showing businesses how they can leverage AI, and give them very explicit, not instructions, but demos of these different tools.
Yeah.
So that's really what I think what we're focusing on. I don't have any golden nuggets around social media because I think I think the people that do really, really well on social media just have a passion for creating like really good content. And there's just something special about what they do. And I'm trying to figure out like what that golden nugget is and what that magic key is.
Well, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's really just getting the message out there, right? Of this is what this thing is, and here's a real world example of how you can use it, right? And then letting them put themselves in that seat, man. I think you did have the golden nugget right out of the gate there of, let's get these things out here so people can visualize what that looks like in their business, right? So I think
We'll see if that works.
I think you're in the right direction for sure, man. I love it. Now, Dale, every superhero has a defining moment, right? What do you think yours is, not only when it comes to your career, but your life as well?
So as far as my defining moment, I think one of the biggest defining moments that I had is when I first met my now wife, and I started it was like either date 1 or date 2, and I had noticed my wife was always very cheerful and very positive, and we started talking about it, and she had told me that I could live my life beyond my wildest dreams.
Mm.
and I didn't know understood what that meant. And then I got sober, and so I've been sober almost 13 years now, living one day at a time. And now I do think that I am living a life that's beyond my wildest dreams, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't meet somebody who I wanted to be like them, and I wanted what they had, and it wasn't like it wasn't like a success or a money thing. It was they had a life, an enjoyment and passion for life that I really, really wanted. So that was, I think, a big piece to a defining moment in my life.
Yeah.
And then the other, to be honest, was nothing will kind of I humble you and kind of make you do a lot of self-reflection until you find yourself in a new city with no friends, working remote, and realizing really what community is all about. And for a long time, I had my friends like back in Seattle who put a big emphasis on community over career. And I've always focused more on career over community. And now looking back, where I'm going, okay, that's really what's missing a lot of the times in my life is when I was working for a startup, I was working remote. Now that I have my own business, I work, in my office most of the time at home. And it's like, okay, now how do I build that community? And it was realizing that, I guess the key to success is around the community that you have. And it just never really occurred to me until I started going, why do I feel just kind of, out of sorts or not depressed, but just something was missing. And then once I realized that's what it was, it made me really want to kind of figure out, okay, well, how do I build this community? So that's what I've been doing, is trying to get involved with different community projects here in my subdivision, and becoming part of the Leawood Chamber, Kansas City Chamber, the National Speakers Association. I mentor at UMKC, and it's building community with other people, like-minded people, which is actually how I met you folks, was through the Leawood Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're involved with that Leawood Chamber, that's definitely a good place to start as far as building a community. They are certainly warm down there, and want everybody to come and be included for sure. And the mentor stuff obviously is absolutely phenomenal, right? I mean, we need more of those in the community for sure. So I appreciate you doing that. Now, Dale,
Absolutely.
villains have attributes as well as heroes. What do you think are the attributes that really kind of lean more towards that hero side and define what a hero is?
Well, for me, when I look at what I think a hero is, and again, I was in law enforcement, so I have I think, maybe a different look on what I think a hero is. And not that I'm saying that because I was in law enforcement, I was a hero by any means, because I had my own heroes that were both in law enforcement and outside of it. But when I look back at the people that I really thought of kind of being the heroes, it was all around people that have a lot of integrity and that live by a code of ethics. Excuse me. And I think that's just really, really important to have those two. And then there was they put a lot of importance on responsibility, or self-responsibility, and accountability. So those, I guess, four different attributes, I think, really what defines a hero.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for your service, by the way. We need more of
Absolutely.
those kind of heroes out there as well that are willing to do that, right? So, all right, Dale, last question for you. This is the hard one. I'm going to ask you to compare yourself to any superhero that's out there. So go ahead and pick a superhero and give us a couple sentences on why that superhero best relates to Dale Thomas.
Sure. Well, I'd love to say it's like a Batman or a Superman, but at the end of the day, I think if I was going to pick a superhero, it would probably be Deadpool.
Okay.
And I say that because I'm very sarcastic. I think he's witty. He has a lot of relatable flaws that I have. Again, very sarcastic, and I think I'm hilarious. And I think Deadpool's pretty hilarious as well. So, and again, if I was a superhero, that's who. And if anybody knows me, they know that I'm kind of clumsy and kind of just goofy. I think that would hit the nail on the head. But I want to protect and help people, but I'm kind of also salty at times, and So it just seems to work really well.
I love that. Your wife is going to watch this and be like, yeah, I know exactly what he means.
Probably.
That's great. Dale, man, thank you for coming on the show. How can people get in touch with you? How can they request a demo? How can they follow you, keep up with what you're doing?
Sure, they can either visit our website, of course, go to actionableops.com. It's always a great way. I don't mind giving out my email as long as people don't want to start sending me cold emails to Dale at actionableops.com. And they could reach me there, and I'd be happy to give demos, talk about what we're doing, meet up for a cup of coffee. I love networking. Even though I'm not great at it, I still love doing it.
I love it. I love it. You can also check out their Facebook page. Hopefully we'll have some demos or sample demos that are going up there soon and some video for them, as well as the LinkedIn page there. So Dale, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I can't wait to see what you guys do and how these companies start utilizing some of this AI to make themselves more efficient.
Of course, I'll be happy to show you and everybody else.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for coming on and thanks for tuning in, everybody.
All right, thanks.
Hey, are we still live? Hey guys, we're still live. Hey guys, this is Kevin Kwok, founder of J29 Creative Group. So who are we? We're a marketing agency here in Kansas City. We're all about a holistic approach to marketing that builds your brand and nurtures online community. But to be honest with you, you guys don't care.